Actually, I want to start this speech off tonight by talking to the audience. And we have finals week coming up. How's everybody feeling towards it?
I'm okay.
Really stressed.
Stressed. Thank you. I was getting that. Now, Wes, I want to ask you, that feeling of stress, do you like that feeling? I know it's a weird question, but
No, it's too much.
it's too much. Do you want that feeling to last a while? You want to get rid of that as fast as you can, right?
Yes.
It's unhealthy to kind of to hang around.
Yes.
So let me ask the rest of you guys, and Wes, you can answer this again as well. What are some of the things you do to relieve your stress? Anybody?
Exercise.
Exercise?
Eat.
Eat. Good answer. Anybody else?
Take a trip.
Take a trip. Anybody else?
Go to the bar.
Go to the bar.
Now, with those feelings that you do, those things you do, taking a trip or going to the bar, how do you feel afterwards? Better, right?
Yeah.
Happier? Stress is gone? Healthier?
Yes.
That's what I'm here to talk to you tonight about. I'm here to persuade you to do something that can relate to all of you. Now, being in college, unfortunately, we have an unwanted companion of stress. You have to be shy about it because you're not alone. According to the American Institute of Stress, 80% of college students report feeling stressed every day that they're at school. And this isn't going away. This is up 20% over the past 5 years. Now, if you think about that for a second, the semester is 100 days, fall and spring, 200 days out of the year. That's over a half. Over a half of the year, you're reporting feeling stressed out. God forbid you take a class in the summertime. It will never go away. As we said before, it's not a healthy feeling. You want to get rid of it. So that's why I'm here tonight. Together, I want to talk about what we can do as college students. My job is to persuade you to get rid of that stress. You all need to take vacations. Now, seems like a simple concept, but I want to elaborate on that. First, to get rid of stress, to get rid of stress, we need to know what it is. So stress, as defined by the American Institute of Stress, is the non-specific response of the body to any demand for change. Stress is a chemical imbalance. It's that fight or flight response that we use to act on the go. Now, there's good stress and bad stress. So the best example I have of this is through a roller coaster. Who here, raise your hand if you like roller coasters? Right? They're fun, right? They're exhilarating, they're cool. Who doesn't like roller coasters? Why?
They're stressful.
They're frightening. That feeling they give you, you want that to stop, right? That's negative stress. The problem with that is, when you have that feeling prolonged, it can lead to things like burnout. Walter talked about that in his last speech. That burnout can be defined as a severe psychological and physical response syndrome resulting from prolonged stress. That feeling continues for long periods of time. You can see some serious side effects. Like we talked about a little bit on my speech, that burnout factor. I just don't care anymore. I can't be a full-time student and a full-time worker. Hair loss, back pain, migraines, gingivitis, and even heart disease can result from long-term feelings of stress. I'm not here to scare anybody. Unfortunately, I'm sure we all can relate to somebody that we know that has stress in their lives, a little bit too much of it, and we can see it, have it told them. What I'm here to do, though, is to give you that remedy. I'm here to persuade you to get rid of that stress. You need to take more vacations. This is me. Look how happy I am. My buddies in Ireland. Now, my buddy John next to me here, in an interview, is a great example of that. Every year he takes an international trip. He's been to Norway, he's been to Italy, he's been to Machu Picchu. He tells me, Mike, best thing I do to relieve my stress is I go on a vacation. Now, you don't want to hear that from me. I'm up here telling you how great vacations are, how they relieve stress. Of course I'm going to tell you that. Raise your hand. Does anybody know any lawyers, personally? And even if you don't, you can agree it's a pretty stressful occupation, right? There's a lot on the line. There's a lot writing on what they do. The University of Calgary ran a study interviewing 900 lawyers, with them all coming up with the same conclusion that the best way that they relieve their stress was taking a vacation. Now also, I know what you're going to tell me, Mike, I get it, it's cool, but I'm a broke college student. I can't take a vacation. I can't afford it. And I got you. I want to give you an alternative. What that is called a staycation. I didn't just make that up, that's a real thing. A staycation is defined as any type of vacation in which you don't go anywhere far or exotic, where you're staying close to home. The city of Makati in the Philippines actually started these things called staycations. What they're doing is they're giving 40% off their local hotels, resorts, casinos, and spas. They ran this back in 2012, and it's been doing so well, they still plan on running this until July 2015. They've had a huge demand for these, and they haven't stopped since. Now, you guys know how great vacations are, right? I'm not here to tell you how great they are. What I'm here to do is persuade you to take more. Because we're going to actually do this again. I apologize, but I want you guys to close your eyes. And I want you to visualize your life if you never took a break. Never took time off. You're on that grind every day. As you talked about earlier, when Wes said he felt stressed out, it's not a feeling he liked. It was an unhealthy feeling. We need to get that feeling away. That's what I want to talk about next. Prolonged activity of stress. Negative stress. Farningham University of Wisconsin ran a study surveying 13,000 men. They followed them around to see what they can do to improve their overall health in their lives. They found that those that take vacations live a longer, more successful life than those that don't. The more vacations they took, the less stressed they were, the longer lives that they lived. It's part of psychology. State University of New York. Similar study, 12,000 men. This is a very interesting one. 12,000 men, they found those that hadn't had a vacation for a period of 5 years or more were 30% more likely to suffer from heart disease than those that took vacations at least once in a 5-year time span. Once in a 5-year time span. Guys, it's amazing how much research is online that actually ties us together. There's study after study that shows the more vacations you take, the less stressful you are, and the more happy and healthy you will be. University of Arizona. I don't throw any more stats anymore. Another study, again, just to back it up. They found that people, the more vacations that they took, whether it be one or more per year, they lived a more successful, carefree, and stress-free life than those that took at least one vacation or less every year. I could keep going all night, but I only had 10 minutes, so I had to stop at a certain amount. Think about that for a second. Vacations equal less stress. We're happy everybody is. Okay? So, I want to wrap this up a little bit. Again, we're college students, we have stress. It's not unwanted companion, I know, but 80% of college students agree with you. They feel stressed every day. You take that in terms of what you're looking at per year, per semester, over a half of a year you're spent stressed out. So we talked about, they can be, and as Walter talked about now that he showed up, there's some serious short-term and long-term side effects to burnout and stress, such as gingivitis and heart disease. That's what I mean, again, to persuade you that the best thing that we can do to relieve our stress, whether it be a staycation or somewhere like Ireland, is to take more vacations. And the more the better. Actually, for some parting words, I want to talk about it's actually a very interesting article that our professor showed us last class about mandatory vacation days per year. And Norway and Denmark have to be towards the top of the list for the most days taken off per year, mandated by the country. And we can all agree, as I just said, the more vacations you take, the less stressed you are, the happier person you're going to be. Well, in a separate, random, completely different survey done by the University of Columbia, their Earth Institute, they do what's called every year, you're going to laugh, a happiness survey. Happiness survey, where they literally go around to every country in the world, they poll their citizens, and find out who is the happiest. It's astonishing. It's the same top 10 countries every year. Now, does anybody want to raise their hands and take a random shot in the dark as what the number 1 and number 2 happiest countries in the world happen to be?
I don't know. Maybe United States?
Anybody else?
Norway and Denmark.